there's someone else out there that
Mhm.
needs to hear this, that needs to hear that they're not by themselves. If I can help me, and if I can help one or two other moms, then it's worth it because they feel better and their family benefits from it as well.
I'm Botter,
I'm Blythe, and we're the co-founders of the Jax Podcasters United.
and this here's another episode of our local podcaster spotlight series hosted by JPU community members Phil and Eric.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the JPU Podathon. I am Phil Smith of the Wait For podcast and Touchdown Jaguars, and I am here with
Kimberley Sanders.
Kimberly. Thanks so much for joining us and for also donating to this wonderful cause that we're doing here today. Tell us a little bit about your show. What's it called and what is it about?
Okay. My show is called You Are Worth the Work, and it's basically to help busy moms become unbusy,
Okay.
put themselves first, and just recognize that that's what you can do and what you need to do in order for your whole family to thrive. So I talk about my kids. I talk about they play sports, so I talk about being a sports mom and being a twin mom and how to navigate that chaos while still making time for yourself and still not neglecting your own interests and hobbies.
That's super important as a parent, also myself. Finding that balance is really, really key, not for just your sake, not for just your kids' sake, but also for yourself.
For sure.
You always have to make sure you're making time, do stuff that's fun, and just for the sake of your own humanity and all of that. So
well, when you do that, when you take the time for yourself, when your kids understand that mom needs this time, like today, coming here this evening, I explained to them that this is something that I'm interested in doing. They've seen me record, they've seen the microphone and all that stuff set up, and they understand that when I do something for me, when I fill up my cup, then from that overflow, they get the best of me.
Right. Yeah, that's great. You kind of touched on it a little bit. What kind of got you into this specific topic? Was it that people were coming to you a lot for advice, or did you find that you were coming across some life situations that you were like, what, people could really benefit from this?
Yes.
The answer is yes.
Yes. So years ago, I was just kind of drowning in motherhood. My twins are the only kids that I have. And so I didn't really have anything to kind of draw on, experience to draw on.
Right.
And I found myself doing kind of at-home workouts and filling my cup up that way and making sure that if I get my workout done, the rest of the day goes smooth.
Right.
And people would ask me, Kim, how do you do it? And I didn't think I was doing anything, really. And sometimes as I was driving home from work or going to get my kids from daycare, I would record on Facebook Live in my car and just, kind of crude, set up my phone and just talk about whatever's on my mind, motivation, kind of inspirational things. And usually I was really trying to pour that into myself as I'm in my car. And a couple years ago, I was like, you know what? There's someone else out there that needs to hear this, that needs to hear that they're not by themselves.
Yeah.
And I really I went on Amazon, I got a microphone, I found, like a free pod hosting website, and I just went for it. And I was like, well, if I can help me and if I can help one or two other moms, then it's worth it because they feel better and their family benefits from it as well.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you mentioned Facebook. Are there any other platforms you found beneficial to get your word out there?
I'm on Instagram too, which I guess is all one big.
Yeah, that's true.
It's all the same.
Instagram, Facebook, yeah.
I am on X, which I guess used to be Twitter. But the biggest thing for me is just kind of putting my life out there a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't have a ton of time on my hands to really be super, super intentional about it. So if I'm thinking something, usually it comes out.
Yeah.
If my kids do something on the field or on the court, you'll see a picture of them after with some music in the background. But that way, and I will, when a new episode comes out every other Friday, then I will put the little screenshot of it with the new episode and a little audiogram. And so that's kind of how I do it. It's not anything fancy yet.
Yeah. And that's why we're here, right? To learn new tactics and ways to promote the show and everything.
For sure.
And you come to the perfect place for that. You said your first time was a few months ago.
It was a couple months ago.
Yeah,
and I enjoyed it. Just kind of meeting new people, especially locally.
Yeah,
just because
definitely.
podcasting can be isolating because I do it in my house.
Yep.
I work from home. I podcast from home or wherever else I bring my microphone, and getting out here and seeing that there's other people in the city, seeing that there's other people with similar interests or way different interests or, sports fans and things like that. Like we can connect in that way, and you never know when your next interview is going to come from. You never know when you're going to be a guest.
And it's very interesting because even though we have different niches and we're in different different categories, we all can learn something based off of what everybody else is doing, which is excellent. So I guess that leads to my next question. We actually talked about this.
We're just rolling right in.
You said you're a little worried how you're going to answer this question, but what has been, maybe even highlight a couple of your favorite episodes, because you said you have some guests on and we don't want to upset anybody. But what has been maybe some of your standouts? Like if somebody were to start your podcast and they saw a guest on, maybe something that you would point them to.
So I will say my interviews have been the most fun just because most of them have been friends of mine. They have been amazing women, moms that I know, and I've seen their journey and I've seen their kids grow up. And I would say if you wanted to start with those episodes. I did the Wrapped thing, where you look at and see what your most listened to episode was. And it was an interview with my friend Amber, who I've known since our kids were infants. We've had this relationship, and she's gone from being a mom and working full time to also kind of building organically a styling business. And we talked about everything from how we met to, cultivating mom friendships and really figuring out what fills up your cup. Because that's the first question that I ask when I interview somebody is, what fills up your cup? And so I love hearing about that, how other moms and other women are able to fill up their cup, what they do. Like she does roller skating. And she loved, like, it was just one of those weird things she wanted to do one day. And it's turned into this thing where she skates all over the world. So it's fun stuff like that. And that's how her kids see her as mom. Mom's happy. Mom's joyful. She's not just yelling or, worried about cooking dinner. So.
What fills up your cup is a good T-shirt. Have you thought about that?
I have not, but I might have to think about it.
That's a good idea. What's one area of podcasting you think would be an opportunity for you? What do you think you can get better? Maybe one of the reasons you come here, as you say, I want to take away this at this JPU event.
Coming here, I like meeting people and kind of seeing what they're talking about, like what's on your podcast. Like, what do you talk about? How do you do it? Because really my biggest thing for me is time. Because I've got 2 boys that play multiple sports, because I still work a 9 to 5 that, takes up hours of my day. Pesky day job.
Getting in the way of what we wanted to.
Like I literally record during my lunch.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I'll set it up at like 9:30 or 10 o'clock while I'm taking a break, and I'll record during my lunch and I'll come on back. So it's, for me, I like seeing how people are doing it, especially people who are working full-time jobs. So that I know, 1, that I'm not by myself in this struggle, and 2, maybe I can gain something from this, figure out maybe a better time to record, a better way to record, a better microphone, a better, things like that.
Yeah, I think for us, especially with our show, we really had to find that balance, because we found ourselves, like, you don't want to get worn out. And because if you do get worn out, you're going to find that you're not enjoying it.
It's not fun anymore,
Exactly. So you really do have to find that balance. And we have learned so many things about how other people find that here, which has been really great. We'll wrap up here as we you actually kind of already answered this question a little bit, but just to wind it down, what has been some of your other favorite things about the JPU, and also how did you find out about it?
How did I find out about JPU?
Facebook?
Yes. It was Facebook. So see, the power of Facebook does good things.
There you go. Sometimes, most, depends on how you use it.
In this case,
in this space,
it's done good things. I found it on Facebook, and my podcast editor also came, and she was going to come, and I was like, okay, so I can people knowing that someone's there. I just had not gotten out and kind of met people. But yeah, that's how I found JPU. But one of the things that I'm really excited about is, again, meeting new people, figuring out new things, learning new things. Because I do ultimately want to take this somewhere. I do still, one day I might want my own podcast studio.
Right.
Because then I'll be able to monetize it enough to get a new house.
There you go.
But I also do public speaking. And so using the podcast to be more intentional about what I'm speaking about and really taking that and being more comfortable in front of people and putting myself out there, whether it's behind a microphone at home or on a stage.
Yeah.
I think those two go well together.
Absolutely. Well, Kim, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you
It was
for having
awesome
me.
meeting you. And don't forget to check out the JPU wherever you're at and meet awesome people like Kim and learn everything you need to know about podcasting.
Yes.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Kim.
Thanks.